Hey. It looks like we are live. Hello, everybody.
Woo-hoo.
Woo!
Mhm.
Welcome to Doing It live stream. I, of course, am Jared Albrecht, the art sale artist, and to my screen right, I don't know, it's Jason.
Hey, what's up?
Beneath him, Delvin.
He's down here, right there. That's Delvin.
And then over there in the hoodie, DJ Cristados.
Hi, my name is
What?
My name is
Cristados.
Hey,
Cristados.
I'm going to give some love to our very first comment. This Jared's feeling better. Yes, I am. Thank you, Courtney. I'm on the mend. I'm a little sleepy. I'm trying to pep it up as we do our live recording of G.I. Joe Chronicles.
I'll hit him.
Devils Do You. Episode 29. So, we're back. Hey to Courtney and Kathleen have already joined the chat. And we'll see if any of our Joe friends stop by. I mean, we understand it's Super Bowl Sunday, but we decided to take the lazy man's way today, do a live recording. So we kind of get double the use out of the live stream.
It's 2 for 1.
That's right. You guys get to see how the sausage is made. Speaking of sausage, Delvin, did you finish the soup?
No, I didn't. I was bringing up YouTube. Took a minute. Had to make sure that it was muted so that I wouldn't hear Delvin and you unmute it. So no, I'm here. It's a soup, which I can't even see because I'm still on the YouTube channel right now. It is. It's Zupa Toscana that Miranda made. It is delicious. She throws all sorts of delectable meats and cheeses, the likes of which I don't even know the names.
I just ate it.
There you have it. All right. Well, who's got anything interesting before we start?
I just told you about the soup. I mean,
Yeah, we got the soup. Soup news is done.
All
right.
Courtney is asking who is winning the Super Bowl.
My question to that question is who is in the Super Bowl because I don't know.
The Los Angeles Rams are playing the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'd have to go Bengals on that just because, they're Tigers.
Ooh, that's good.
From the Midwest.
Cincinnati Reds is my favorite baseball team. So Cincinnati Bengals. I like their helmets. I've always liked their helmets. The Tigers
helmets are good. Yeah,
always look cool. So I guess I'm going to go with the Bengals. Plus, they sang we've got. Yeah, there we go.
Beat you to it.
Jason's got there right there.
I got 8 hours of sleep last night. I'm ready to go.
Jason's got all the pep for all of us today.
Boy. Jason's all like,
all a great day, man. The sun's shining. We're reading G.I. Joe. It's awesome.
I think we should let Jason take my spot.
All right, today. Take a nap, Jared. I got
it. You host the thing. Whoever it says in the script, Jared, just do you. I'll just be the guest.
That'll hang there.
I probably should bring up a script. Hey, I'm peppy. I'm just not prepared.
Got all the enthusiasm, but no script up.
That's right, no script up.
All right, well, welcome Chola, Kathy, Courtney. Man, we like our ladies squad is on today.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
We got the ladies squad.
Woo-hoo. Ladies night.
Right. So that's cool. Well, I guess we can get into it. I'll go on mute, Pat. You have the first line.
Okay. Let me bring up the script.
Oh my goodness! A pack of rank amateurs.
I got it. At
least Delvin might have soup, but he has soup and script.
Yeah, I got it.
He does not have the script up.
You can't prove that.
Excuse me, I'm dying. All right,
down mute.
So we're gonna get going on G.I. Joe Chronicles Devils Do Years, issue number 29. And I'll go on mute and we'll get this thing started.
Make sure to hit that like button on the YouTube page. Thumbs up it. And smash that subscribe button. All right. If you guys are ready, we can get started.
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's do it then. Here we go. In 3, 2. Welcome to G.I. Joe Chronicles, The Devil's Due Years. I'm one of your commanders, Pat Sampson, codename DJ Christados. And joining me, as always, is my battle buddy in this operation, Jared Elbrick, a.k.a. Death Probe.
Eddie's DJ Christados and all the green shirts tuning in for our podcast. I want to welcome you all to Fort Longbox. We appreciate you tuning in to talk some post-2000 G.I. Joe comics with us as we chronicle our way through the Devil's Due Run. On this episode of G.I. Joe Chronicles, we're going to rotate in not one, but two special ops guests for the show. We have Jason Ulbrich, codename Weasel Skull. Gave us a thumbs up. We have Delvin Williams, codename The Dark Web. He also gave a thumbs up. All right, we're off to a good start. We also have people joining us in the chat today. We've got Courtney Holland. We've got Chola. We've got Kathy. So it's Ladies' Day in the chat thus far. We may have some folks join us later on. Who knows? We are recording this on Super Bowl Sunday, so people could be a little bit busy today, but we appreciate everyone showing out for the episode.
Can I say, Jared, before you continue, that this is more ladies than I've gotten on my dating profile. So it's
a big day.
This is a big day for me.
All right. Normally, this is the part of the show where we would debrief our new recruits, get their origin story with G.I. Joe, favorite characters, and all that. Now, both of these cats have been on our show before. They've been special guests. We've been through all that. So here's your question that I have for you, gentlemen. And it's kind of an honor of, Delvin being here. He's our Transformers guy. And Transformers and G.I. Joe often go hand in hand. So the question I want to pose to Jason and Delvin today as our guests is, what would it take for you to subscribe to a comic that features one G.I. Joe character and one Transformers character as like a duo? So there's a comic out there and it's got one Joe and one Transformer kind of rolling together, fighting crime and all that stuff. What would be your ideal Joe and Transformers duo? So I mean, there's lots of ways you go with that. Duke and Optimus Prime kind of go together well. Snake Eyes and Jazz. I was kind of thinking about Chuckles and Bumblebee might be a fun adventure.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm interested to see what Jason has to say. Go ahead, Jason.
Wow, that's putting me on the spot early. I would have to say, I think that it might be an odd mix, but I would like to see Optimus Prime and Snake Eyes like on a cross-country road trip. Like one of those, almost like Kung Fu, The Legend Continues, where he's just wandering the world. One Optimus Prime and the semi-rig and Snake Eyes, and together they see the country, they help people, they fight bad guys together. It's an odd mix, but I think I'd like to see that. I think that would be a cool 1-2 combo.
All right, Optimus Prime and Snake Eyes. Delvin!
The combo that I had come up with literally was Optimus Prime and Snake Eyes.
That's the comic that needs to be made, clearly.
This show is off to a rousing start here.
You should have been like Storm Shadow and Ultra Magnus. It's like the same story. Just lighter colored vehicle and the clothing.
Oh, well, I mean, at least I give you credit for saying Ultra Magnus and not, Rodimus.
Right.
Then, that would have been violence ensued. So I'm sorry, Optimus Prime has to be the Transformer. It has to be. He's the dude. He's just the dude, and you could mix and match him with basically anyone. So my really was that, because you got the coolest Transformer, and in my opinion, you got the coolest Joe. And so that would make for kind of cool stories. Like, I don't know exactly how Prime could sneak Snake Eyes to a destination dressed, not dressed, big old semi, 18-wheeler that he is. Maybe he can use like one of like the toys in the back that he has, or devices, or roller, I think it was the little thing's name, or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. It would be cool. I would read it. So I'm on board, Jason.
You guys sound like you got it going.
Well, I was just thinking that, the 18-wheelers, they go all over the U.S. They can go anywhere. You know, some other ideas would be cool, like, you know, maybe a Starscream type thing with jets flying around. But with Optimus Prime, you got the coolest Transformer, and he can literally go anywhere in the U.S. You know, I think that would just be cool.
Pat, you look like you're chomping at the bit to jump in. What you got?
Starscream and Destro.
Oh yeah, that would be super sweet. Although I just feel like Destro would just like he already has that low tolerance for Cobra Commander.
Yeah,
I feel like he'd have less of a tolerance.
But it'd be like, hey, you kind of sound familiar.
Yeah, your voice sounds familiar.
Your voice sounds familiar.
Something about your voice immediately gets on my nerves, Starscream.
I don't know what it is and why I'm attracted to you, but I always seem to come back to you, and you know, it reminds me of somebody, but oh man, I just don't know. You know, and they'd be fighting for power too between the two. So you'd not only have the, you know, the battle between both of them trying to be the leader of the two of them, but then you also have you know, just, hey, I know you, what's going on here? And it'd be fun.
No, definitely.
And then they'd also be trying to scheming and do some things. So
Yep, you're right.
What about you?
Oh, geez, I kind of threw a couple of my ideas out early. You know, once I said out loud as a joke, I still would totally read the Storm Shadow Ultra Magnus duo. I think I would read that book. And it looks like we have Courtney in the chat who says Lady J versus Megatron. All right. I don't mind mixing it up. So there you have it. And with that, Pat, why don't we do the intelligence report? Oh, wait. Before we do that, I'll read one more. We got one more from Auburn Elvis who said it'd be tough to get an Optimus Prime villain that would challenge Snake Eyes. Deep thoughts.
Yeah.
Intelligence report. Pat, go.
All right. Well, Jared, I'm glad you asked. For this mission, we'll be covering G.I. Joe number 29. Publisher was Devil's Due. Cover date April 2004. Writer was Brandon Jurwa. Penciler Tim Seeley. Inker Corey Hampshire. Colorist is Brett R. Smith. And letters go to Dreamer Designs. Cover art is Tim Seeley, Andrew Papoy, and Val Staples. And speaking of the cover, Death Pro, please take us through the cover description.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. Wait. Stop. There was not one trip up there. Not one.
Because they do it live, you know.
He's doing it live.
What is going on? I am confused. I am perplexed.
Just he didn't know the emotion, so it just turns to anger, and Del just gets mad and leaves the show.
It's like, Pat, are you a secret agent? Tell us! Tell us!
But see, what y'all don't know is that Pat's like this on every G.I. Joe Chronicles. He saves it all up for G.I. Joe Chronicles.
Yep.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
You guys been played.
Right.
I played you all.
All right.
And, all right, before Jarrett goes ahead and gives a cover description, you guys are seeing the cover live in the chat. So go ahead and tell us in the chat what your thoughts are on it as we go around the horn and discuss ours. Back to you, Jared.
Good catch, Pat. Good catch. All right. This cover features Destro doing Destro things, like brokering big-time deals. He's shaking hands over a briefcase of cash with a mysterious broker. Flanking Destro on either side are his son Alexander and Alexander's girlfriend Lillian. And that's about it. So, what did you guys think of the cover? Oh, sorry, that's your job, Pat. I jumped the gun.
Okay. So, let's go ahead and find out what the guys and the chat thought about this cover. And we'll start with Delvin.
First thought I had about the cover was seeing the money there was that Destro has to be making a deal with the government because there are not many people that have that much money just lying around like that. Like if you look around my house, you're not going to see that much money lying around or really any money at all. I don't know why I brought my house up into this, but that's what I thought was like government. Like there was some very highfalutin, rich level person. And so the question that it led me to think is, well, who is Destro making a deal with? I don't know. Of course, I know enough about Joe to know that was Destro. I did not know the two people in the background, but it also kind of was a hint to how the story went to me, in that, like, you know, this wasn't a rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat cover. This was a, you know, deals are being made and alliances are being formed, and that storyline is being built type cover. So that's what this cover is to me.
All right, we'll just keep going around and go with Jason.
Yeah, similar to Delvin, I saw that pile of money in the foreground, and I thought, oh, he must be a plumber, because that's about what I paid to have my plumbing fixed recently over the holidays. So that's, I was thinking of my plumber. Shout out there, Lance. Good job. But at any rate, I was kind of similar to Delvin, trying to figure out what was going on. I also didn't know who the two people in the background were, but if I can speak about the art of Destro here in the foreground, fantastic. I mean, even though, like Dylan says, it's not a rat-a-tat cover, Destro looks the business. I mean, even just shaking hands with this guy, like, he is jacked, he is confident, he's staring right at you with those green eyes. I love those green eyes. I don't know what that entails. Like, maybe his
helmet
has some sort of enhanced visual optics or something, but he looks both menacing, confident. He's got his two compadres behind him, backing him up. For a non-action cover, this is really, really good and well drawn.
Very cool. Jared, what are your thoughts?
Very much echo both Delvin and Jason. I'll take from Delvin, definitely gives the aura of the whole story, you know, kind of circles around this. And to Jason's point on the art, oh my gosh. I mean, Destro, how big are those arms? He has been lifting the weights.
Yeah, that's a handshake you don't want to get involved. It's like, oh man, my fingers would break.
Oh my Lord, he has been hitting the iron.
But you know, he just looks great. I mean, it's outstanding. It's an outstanding Destro cover. And then I wouldn't expect people who aren't so into the Devil's Due Run to recognize Alexander and Lillian right off the bat. But for those of you who have been along for the ride, you'll remember that Alexander was actually pretending to be Destro early in the story arc. The guy we thought was Destro was Alexander, masquerading as his father. And they're just now, as of episode 29, and I'm certain we can get this in the story, they're just now kind of winning back his trust, becoming part of his cabal, if you will. I also like the way that our screen is currently set up, that if I talk in my microphone, it looks like I'm whispering to Alexander.
Yeah.
Try to give me some of that money.
You'll never be as good as your dad was.
Yeah. You suck. Your dad's awesome. But no. Yeah, artistically, it's great. It's a very, 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 very Destro cover. We're going to score them momentarily. And like we always say, Pat, always, but we said a lot lately, your score on this cover, I think, is going to be determined by how much you like Destro.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
With that, I'll let you give your final thoughts on it. And
Okay.
Maybe some folks from the chat.
All right. Well, I think you guys said a lot about this cover already that I agree with so much more. If you're a Destro fan, definitely seeing him front and center on that cover is really interesting. I was like Delvin too. I'm like, well, who's he making a deal with? Until you read into the issue, then we find out who it actually is. So I was interested to find out who he actually is making a deal with. And I like too that because we're doing it live like this, I can start to grab some of that money. I'm going to try to grab some of that money.
Alexander, watch out for Pat. He's trying to get some of that money.
Or maybe I try to lick it. Try to get some of that cold hard cash that we all want there. But all right, well, what do we have in the chat? What is the chat's thought on this cover?
I shared a few of them, Pat, but what Chola said was, I like the point of view, like you are who he's making a deal with, and gives it that mystery of who it could be. And Courtney said it's Destro, so it's trouble with a capital T.
It's almost like you didn't know. You saw the green and the green on the hand that's being shaken, and I'm like, is that a Joe? Are they making? Is he making a deal with the Joes now? Possibly.
Yeah, it does look like a military shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had that OD green cuff, and I was trying to run through my head, like, do I know any Joes that smoke cigars? Because I was kind of focused on the cigar.
It could be a juggler.
Well.
It could be a juggler.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody like that. So that's what really pulled me in. So cool. Well, all right. With that, how would you rate this cover? So on a scale of 1 to 10 flag points, 1 meaning you didn't like it at all, and 10 meaning it's perfect and you should make a recruiting poster out of it. Let's find out. So in the chat, watching it live with us, here's your chance to put your number 1 to 10 flag points into the chat. We'll go around the horn here on the reverse, and we'll start with Jared, Jason, and Delvin. And when we come back after me, we'll see what the chat says. So, Jared, 1 to 10, what's it going to be?
Like I said before, I think it really is completely determined by how much you like Destro. Because it's not a pew 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 cover, but it is so freaking Destro, cutting deals, looking cool, got his family behind him. I'm giving it a 9. I'm all in on Destro. I think he's a great character. So yeah, this is a solid 9. This is a definition of Destro cover for me.
Very good. Jason.
Yeah, I'm not quite as high as a 9, but I'm at a solid 8. I think this could be a recruiting poster. This could be like Destro going, hey, sign up, shake my hand. You can be part of Team Destro. And you know what? In all honesty, I probably would if I fell on hard times, because I know, unlike Cobra Commander, Destro's not going to sell me out, leave me, abandon me to my fate with Joe's barreling down on me. Destro's got some loyalty, man, and he just looks the business here. So 8 from me.
I know I'm crossing our podcast here, but Destro is the Franz Sanchez of G.I. Joe villains. If I can use a James Bond analogy, he's the Sanchez of James Bond.
Yeah.
You know, if you do right by him, he's going to do right by you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that, and I think Jason too. I think if you want to be on someone's side, Destro is probably the good one because you get to play with both teams sometimes, and he's probably got good insurance too, because we know Cobra's insurance isn't that great. You know. And he's probably got cooler outfits and all that.
It's literally called Cobra.
Yeah, that's good.
I get it.
Delvin, 1 to 10 flag points.
God, I got these sniffles. Like, you know, like here, yeah, here's the fix. Here's your bill, $7,000. More Cobra insurance jokes, gents and ladies. Really quick from the comments. Courtney gave the cover a 9. And Kathy, I saw it somewhere. She said she was at a 7, but she was going to give it an 8. And I'm there with her and Jason with an 8 as well. I think it's a really good cover. And Jason is now 2 for 2 in taking an idea I was going to say. And that was about the recruiting poster thing. I was going to be really clever. And I was going to say, you know, usually it's like, you know, Uncle Sam, I want you. But in this case, it's Destro doing it for like maybe Cobra or his own faction. But when Jason took it, it is not original. And
I'm in your head.
I'm having a rough live stream right now. But it's an 8 for me. It is a very good cover. And I do like Destro. He is one of the Joes with Cobra in parentheses that I do remember. Yeah, I like it. Very good cover.
All right. I'm going to just pile on another 8. I've seen a lot of 8s in the chat. It's not super high up there for a 9 for me. Destro is not my guy. You know, my guy is Serpentor. I love me some Serpentor. So now if I could see Serpentor and Destro fighting, ooh, man, that would be cool. Not just a mind fight. I want to see, like, you know, look at those arms on Destro. You don't skip arm day or chest day. You know, because I think probably keeps that chest really good because of that jewel that he wears. You know, gotta keep that up there. So I'm going with an 8. It's a long way to say an 8. And we see that Mark Ross in the chat has an 8 too. So welcome, Mark. Glad to see you.
Courtney thought your favorite was Shipwrecker.
My favorite is Shipwrecker?
Yeah, I think because you have the Shipwrecker figure.
I have Shipwreck, yeah. But Shipwrecker is a cool name, though. Wouldn't you say, Jared?
Yeah, I came up with it for a comic I wrote. Oh, I don't want to miss Chola either. She gave this one an 8. Oh. I think Pat just died.
Yeah.
And did we get Courtney's 9?
I think
so. Yeah, we did. Okay, good.
You think about it, because when I enlisted, the Army was like, oh, you get bonus, you get, GI Bill and all this stuff. And if they would have just flashed open a suitcase full of money to me, I would have been like, all right, I'm your guy.
And I just heard from my friend, Dr. Mindbender, and he said, "Oh, I don't like that one. I hate Destro, blah."
You took my shirt.
All right. Well, with all that fun and shenanigans out of the way, let's go ahead and get back to Death Probe for the story synopsis in our mission brief.
All right. As you know, on G.I. Joe Chronicles, we mix it up a bit. I'm going to have DJ Crusados pull the randomizer, determine the synopsis point of view. Well, I tell it from Joe's point of view or Cobra's point of view. I don't know. Crusados, pull that lever.
That's a good one. That was really good.
That was a good one.
And the lever has chosen Cobra.
All right, Cobra, it is. Here we go. Son of a bitch. Our bomb did not kill General Hawk or Lady J. And on top of that, Cobra Island's been infiltrated by a new Joe, Barrel Roll. But we're working on tracking him down. We're also keeping a sharp eye out on the invasion of Sierra Gordo by Sierra Muerte. And we're starting to suspect our former employee, Destro, may have a silver-clad hand in this whole thing. And now it's time for our highs and lows on the issue. So we're going to do a couple rounds as we usually do. Folks in the chat, if you read the story and you have some thoughts on the story, feel free to share them as we will check in with you from time to time as well. So, high, low, what the? Go ahead, Delvin.
Let's start with I like the PR that it was Lady J who was caught in the bomb, right? Or caught in the explosion. And they were like, okay, how are we going to spin this? And like, yep, gas main leak, and like, don't mention any casualties because we want to keep this low key, and we don't want to give Cobra the PR of being an effective terrorist organization. Very interesting. Like, that is part of like influence ops and psyops and stuff that I trained on some years ago, and it's interesting to see stuff like that going on in the comic book because like that's not sexy per se, it's not shoot 'em up, but it is a vital part of any military operation to have stuff like that. And it also, my conspiracy brain turned on. I was like, how many times does that happen in real life where there's like, oh, there's a gas main explosion? It's like, was that really Cobra? Oh man, so yeah, I thought that was very, very interesting. You don't get to see stuff like that too often.
Yeah, one of the things that we learned doing a couple of these with, well, we didn't do it with Brandon Jurwa, right? We had Josh Blaylock when he was writing.
Yep.
And I'm guessing Brandon's got to be like Josh, and that Josh did his homework. He would read up on technology and tactics and stuff like that. Like he's kind of an admitted history nerd, and that just fit really well with this. And it looks like Jurwa was, like Delvin said, taking the same path. So that's pretty cool. To Jason.
Mine is a what the, maybe you fellows can help me out. Barrel Roll. Not really familiar with the character, but I was confused because it sounded like he must be some sort of pilot or something. And I was confused why this Barrel Roll character is the one selected to infiltrate Cobra Island when they've got like 50 ninjas running around on the Joe team. How did he get this gig?
I can answer that.
Okay.
The reason you're not as familiar with him is he's a brand new Joe as of last issue.
Mm-hmm.
and him and some of the new Joes just went on a just kind of a recon mission of Cobra Island to see who was there, who wasn't there, kind of poke the bear a little bit. And a bunch of these airborne Cobra guys, I think they were called Cobra Raptors, maybe something like
I
that.
think so, yeah.
You know, they kind of have like the self-contained jetpacks kind of attacked him, and he ended up beating the guy and taking his jetpack and his uniform. And that's how he kind of snuck in. So that's how Barrel Roll got to where he is.
Oh, he called an audible.
Kind of, yeah. I don't know that was necessarily planned.
No, I think it was. It was to get him in, and then in this issue to get him to the main computer so they can
I guess so. It
it.
did seem like they had more of a point to it. Yeah, as of this issue. That's a good point, Pat.
Yeah.
So it's his military specialty then, like, we don't know.
I do know because I featured him on last episode, which hasn't come out yet. This is why you don't know the answers to these things. But his military specialty, Jason, is high altitude sniper. And I still don't know what that is. I was like, that is made up. I have no clue what a high altitude sniper is.
What is he, in a hot air balloon or something? Like,
I don't know.
Doing some around the world in 80 days.
I feel like folks at Hasbro just kind of like had like cool adjectives and cool nouns, and they were like high altitude sniper. Like, I don't know.
Somewhere from beyond the grave. Max
it was like a Mad Libs for it.
They were Mad Libs in it. I love it. But yeah, there you go, Jason. That's the short version. I guess that takes it to you, Pat.
Okay. Well, for this round, I'm going to go with the characterization that was happening in here. Delvin had mentioned it when we talked about the cover, that there wasn't a lot of action in this one, but there was a lot of character building. You had Destro and his son and his son's girlfriend. She's trying to, make amends with Destro after all the whole debacle from the early on issues. So she wants to win his allegiance back. I like that story going there. Then you had Cobra, who's just crazy as, having a big party and then just a big, speaking loud. And then I like it when Barrel just says, well, why don't you just shut up? And then you have the twins in there. It's cool to see the twins and a little bit of action in there as well. So you had like four different sides of business going on here.
Mm-hmm.
You had Destro's side, you had the twin side, Cobra's side, and then you had the Joes, what they're doing in Sierra Gordo and all that, and how long they've been there. And then you have the Joes in the States kind of spinning it a little bit differently. So a lot of good characterization going on.
Yeah, lots going on.
How about you?
For me, I'll just take a quick one real quick based off the cover. It's just Destro. I mean, did anybody else here get the feeling that the mysterious people from Sierra Muerte that are invading Sierra Gordo are probably working for Destro, and he set this whole thing up from the get-go so he could build his own arms factories down there and have the president of the country owe him some favors? Like, it feels like he set this whole thing up to me. And I don't remember, as we've said many times on the show, Pat, because when I read these for the first time, it was 20 years ago, and I don't remember, but I just like, I really hope that's what it is, because that's so Destro.
Yeah. And it's like, he was doing this from how long ago, too, even while he's waiting for his commander to come back and all that.
Oh, yeah. Destro doesn't sit around and wait for things to happen, man.
No.
He makes things happen.
Dude, I like that idea. Just as a Joe outsider, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
All those machinations to set up that deal so that he could come in and save the day. Like, that's next level right there.
Because they've been real cagey about telling us who this invading force is. They haven't said it's Cobras.
Yep.
Yeah, they haven't said it's Coil. They haven't said it's, Destro's Grenadiers, perhaps.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Coil for a little bit. I'm like, is this Coil's? What's going on? Or maybe he's controlling Coil a little bit, too.
Who knows? You never know. The Jugglers could have some weird U.S. faction doing it for all we know. But my money right now is like, this feels like Destro set the whole thing up. And I'm excited to see what happens next. I hope that's what happens next. But hey, let's get another round in and go back to Delphin.
Well, we were talking about Destro. So what I'll do is kind of expound on. I don't have a ton of Joe knowledge, as I've, is canon now to Longbox Crusade. So didn't read a bunch of Joe comics, growing up. But I will say that I think it's interesting to see that there are more than just two factions. Things could get really old really fast if it were just bang, bang, shoot 'em up. And okay, Cobra has his plot, and then Joe comes in to save the day. No, this one seemed multi-layered to where you got Cobra Commander doing his thing, and you've got Destro, who looks like he still might want to take over Cobra, but he doesn't want to do it with Cobra Commander there. And whatever plan he's got going on, he was telling his son and essentially his daughter-in-law was like, we have to move on this plan right now. Like, whatever that plan is, since we don't know what it is, and is that plan going to be to take over Cobra again? So I like that. That is just an extra layer that is absolutely needed to turn a toy property like G.I. Joe from being absolutely two-dimensional into 3 dimensions and beyond, and makes you want to come back and buy it, other than just seeing the 3-inch characters like smack into each other. So that was very interesting to me.
A little intrigue. Yeah, just to make it more interesting, Delvin, again, you're not the G.I. Joe encyclopedia, we know, but they've used Sierra Gordo as a fictional South American country since back in the early 80s when Larry was writing this book. So just bringing Sierra Gordo back as a location is exciting to a lot of Joe fans. Which of course you didn't know, but it's kind of cool that not only they're adding intrigue, but they're also kind of bringing in those memory nostalgia hits too.
Oh heck yeah, those little affectations are absolutely what a Joe fan would read. Is like, oh, okay, we don't just have some dude on this book just writing it to fill up time or just to take my money. This is actually a project that the writer cares about, by throwing that little affectation in there.
Absolutely. To you, Jason.
Well, first off, I want to see, I've been seeing in the chat people talking about Delvin and I wearing the same shirt here. Christmas gift from DJ Cristados. Thanks, Pat. And it got me thinking that we should start doing the Tomax and Zaymont. We should start finishing each other's sentences here. Delvin.
Finishing each other's sentences.
Harder to do than you think. No, in all seriousness, I think one of the things I really liked about this book was there was a lot in it. Like Pat said, it's not the all-out action issue, but there was enough action in there to entertain me. I thought the escape of Barrel Roll, or almost escape, we don't know exactly. He was so close, so close. We don't know what's going to happen, but it looks like he's going to make it. His escape may be with a +1, to be determined who that is. But I thought that the action was really well done. The way it was drawn was very clever. I could tell what was happening. He did some clever things, setting up little traps with the fire extinguisher for example, and so you could kind of see everything that was going on. It was laid out really well. And then you also had all, like Delvin spoke so eloquently on, the machinations going on between Destro and what's going on there. You got Cobra just, having his rally and having his little soliloquy going on as well. So you kind of see where everybody's at. It looks like the U.S. government's kind of snoozing. They're like, well, we need to wait and see, and I don't know which horse to back in this race. Well, Destro's, you snooze, you lose. He's going in and he's planting stakes. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of plot going on, but enough action sprinkled in here to make it really entertaining. So that's going to be my comment as far as a high.
That brings it to you, Pat.
I'm just going to mention how cool it was to see Jorah pulling in some other characters, like the group that's of Joes that are in Sierra Gorda. You had Ripcord, Rakondo showed up. I was like, oh man, cool, Rakondo, and Tunnel Rats there too. So you had all these low
I heard
light.
Rakondo. That was cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pat. Keep going.
No, that's cool that you heard it. So you probably had a like, oh wow, cool. So I like that part of it. But as Jason was mentioning, the one point I want to know is who's got the gunpoint to barrel roll.
Yeah, good cliffhanger.
I don't know.
My vote is Baroness. That's my vote.
Ooh, I didn't think about that one. See, let's go around real quick and see who you think it is. I'm thinking it could be Serpentor.
But I thought he was in a stasis chamber.
Oh,
One
yeah,
of the
that's
jugglers
right.
has him on stasis somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Do they? Oh, maybe they do. I can't remember.
It was at the end of one of the
All right.
2 issues ago.
Could be Mindbenders then.
Yeah, remember they'd found him. He was hiding out on a crate, and I
Yeah.
can't remember what his status is. I guess it could be him.
Maybe he escaped. I don't know. Who do you guys think it is? Real quick.
No clue.
No clue. Okay.
Jason.
The Punisher.
Well, the reason why I think it's the Baroness is because on the previously on summary at the beginning of the book, they go to great the pains to remind you that Baroness is still on Cobra Island with Cobra Commander and not with Destro.
Yep.
So that kind of planted the seed in my mind, like, okay, well, maybe this is her making her play to get off the island and go reunite with her love.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see. But Jared, who do you think?
Punisher.
Punisher. Okay. Don't know that.
I absolve myself because I peeked ahead to the next issue.
Oh,
I know who it is. Some guesses from the chat is we've got Godzilla, we've got Ed Sheeran.
Oh, could be
MVP Kathy Bright. Wonders if it's MVP Kathy Bright. Oh, Courtney also wants to know, is it Sergeant Slaughter?
Oh, could be.
So many to choose from. I'll just say this: one of you is right. One of you has guessed right.
Ed Sheeran, I knew it.
Was it Delvin?
It's actually Godzilla. It's weird how his hand doesn't look very clawed in the drawing, but oh, okay. Well, I agree with you, Pat. I think it is a great cliffhanger. Just a couple of comments from the chat while we've been doing our thing. Courtney says that she feels like that's Duke's hand on the cover, thinking that at some point Joes are going to have to work together with Cobras or Destros. And, they had that opportunity before when they invaded the island, and Hawk was like, no, we'll fight all y'all. Yeah. And he did. And I was like, okay. I personally would have teamed up with Destro. But hey, they've had a couple of they did have a Destro alliance there for a while. Remember when they had to go get Flint and Baroness when they were captured? So it's been an interesting time. Well, with that, I think I'll hand it back to DJ Cristados for his IG report, combat readiness of this issue.
And for those of you who don't speak military, that means we're going to score this issue story on the same 1 to 10 flag points scale we used earlier. So, chat, in the chat, go ahead and start showing us your scores for the story as we go around to see what the LBC crew think about it. And we will start with Jason.
Similar to my cover score, I'm going to say it's an 8. I think there was a lot going on here. I think it was much more complex than I would have given it credit for, as Delvin stated earlier, and still enough action to really get me into it. I want to know what's happening next. They planted the seeds of a lot of G.I. Joe action to come in the Sierra Gordo area. So, I'm going to land on an 8 for this one. Really good issue.
Delvin, 1 to 10 flag points.
I think I'm okay with giving it an 8. I think that it was a good story. And when I came onto the show at 26, where there was a fallout from the big battle, that issue had a decent amount of buildup. So fast forward 3 issues, it's still building up. And so I'm like, man, all this buildup, there better be one heck of a storyline at the end when, like, because, hey, sometimes, like, say a Jonathan Hickman for years later for the Joe book, like, he loves doing that, building up the storyline and putting bits and pieces together. And next thing you know, like, there's just this huge, big storyline that was building up to. I hope the same happens with Joe, because it looks like there's a lot of intrigue, and I like that. It was cool to read.
Jared.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get on the 8 train. I think it's a real solid 8. The only reason it doesn't top out at 9 or a 10, it's not as action-packed. And the action that does feature requires me to like a new Joe, who just appeared last issue with Barrel Roll. And while I am finding him quite likable, though, so that is a good feat.
Yeah.
That I'm interested in his adventures on Cobra Island. I got to admit to myself, if that had been Stalker or Snake Eyes, I would have probably given it a 9. But it still speaks well of Jerwa, though, to have entered. And we kind of all know that Hasbro kind of pushed those new characters and like, hey, here comes a new wave of toys, guys. Make this happen. And so, given those parameters, I think Jerwa did a good job. Solid 8.
All right. I am going to go a little bit higher and give you a 9. I think, just as I spoke before, characterization and the intrigue. I want to know more about this. Where is this going? So it was kind of, I want to say it was filler, but it was good tasting filler to me, to where this story is heading.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what we got in the chat. I see Courtney's got it at a 10. Kept her interested. Auburn Elvis had it at a 6.0221515 times 10 carat 23. So I don't know what that means, but
10 to the 23rd power. Yeah. I think that's Avogadro's number, if I'm not mistaken. Keep going.
Kathy wants to give it some pie. That does sound good. I would want some pie too.
I like pie.
Yeah. And Chola gives it wait a minute. She didn't give it anything because she didn't read it.
Good one. Hey, carrying the tradition.
There we go.
All right. Well, that's what we got from the chat. So for that, let's go ahead and go to our next segment, where we're going to find out who gets an award. Either it's a Silver Star Medal or it's a Silver Snake for gallantry or sneaky snakiness. So in this is where we're going to each reward the character in this issue who went above and beyond the call of duty, or sneaky tude. So let us start with Delvin.
Delvin needs a second. He kind of compose himself.
I did. I had to remember that I'm a 44-year-old man. Yeah, I'm going to give the Silver Snake to Destro. I had no idea Destro was that intriguing of a character. And so if a writer takes a character out of like the main team, then they're doing it because like that's like either an underutilized character that they're trying to bring to the spotlight, or that character is just that dang cool. Like, you could have Snake Eyes on a self-contained story, like, and it could be like a 6-parter, and people would read it because of Snake Eyes, and Snake Eyes is cool. But Destro, like, while he's always been in the spotlight, in my opinion, Destro isn't one of those who, like, you would immediately stick out to, so that they've separated him and kind of said, well, hey, I'm the number 2, but I should be number 1. Then yes, they're setting this up for a reason, and it's cool. It really, really did intrigue me. So he gets it for me.
Very cool. Jason.
I'm going to be totally unoriginal and give it to Destro as well. I thought about Barrel Roll for a minute, but at the end of the day, he didn't quite make it. Didn't quite make it off the island. So, and also at the end of the day, Destro, he sealed the deal. Like, while everybody else is sneaking and skulking around and watching this and filing reports and watching newsreels, Destro's moving in and getting this done, man. So I've got to give it up to Destro. He seems to be the top dog in this issue.
Jared, going with Destro, or you got somebody different?
I'm going to go a little bit original here and give it to Destro.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's out of left field.
I mean, he's the man on the cover. He's the man in the story. Like Jason said, oh, who's doing what? Chaos, cover, damage control. And Destro's like, I just secured pretty sweet little spot for myself. And the rest of you can suck it. So I'm giving it to Destro.
Well, I got to give it to Destro, too. We're just going to make it an all-the-way around Destro show today and give it to him. Barrow, he was good, but just, obviously got caught. So, or couldn't get off the island in time. So, I'm giving it to Destro. So, with that, let's go ahead and go to the next segment of the show where it's Jared. And he's going to talk about Death Probe's toy chest.
All right, Pat, in this segment, I will take something or someone featured from this issue and give you a brief toy history on it. Delvin.
Don't you guys do one like besides the Silver Star? I thought there was one where you didn't like the guy. Or is that, am I getting that confused with Transformers Chronicles?
Transformers.
That's your show, Delvin.
You're thinking of Less Than Meets the Eye. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, listen to Transformers Chronicles. It's a good show. We can use it. Don't listen to this show. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jared.
I see you getting your plugs in.
Oh man, we got.
Oh, see, he's like Destro. He's being sneaky like that.
He's barrel roll. He's infiltrated. He's destroying things. All right, where was? Okay. Oh, by the way, Delvin, you probably saw it in the chat, but you were correct. By the way, that was the avocado number that Auburn Elvis put up earlier.
Avogadro, but yes.
Yeah, got it.
Agree to disagree.
Oh, bringing back high school jokes. That was the same joke I used to my poor math teacher. I'd probably heard it 1,000 times. I'd be like, the avocado number. Wasn't funny then. Still not funny now, but I'm still
That's you keep on trying.
I'm just gonna ride the avocado number down for all those math jokes. All right, let me get back to what we were doing.
I've heard it both ways.
All right. I'll take something or someone featured from this issue and give you a brief toy history on it. For this issue, to no one's surprise, I have selected Destro. We're going to start talking about it. If folks in the chat had Destro in your toy collection, we want to know about it. Having said that, let's get into some Destro history. Originally, on his file card, his name was Unknown. But now it's known. It's James Mccollum Destro. He's a weapons manufacturer and terrorist. And as far as his original figure goes, he had a black bodysuit with a popped collar, open at the chest to show his sweet medallion. He had silver gauntlets with weapon attachments and his iconic silver mask. His accessories were a laser pistol and an attaché case that you could actually open up. He was first released in U.S. toy stores as part of the Series 2 in 1983 and was discontinued in 1986. There are currently 29 versions of Destro, to include Pimp Destro. No, I did not make that up. There's a special version called Pimp Destro where he has a cheetah print collar. I think his suit's purple or so. It's ridiculous.
How is that not some rapper's name?
I don't know.
I'm taking that for my own.
I think we're
That's
found
my
our
new
band
nickname. Call me Pimp Destro. Love it.
I actually have a Pimp
or P. Desty.
P. Desty. So anyway, he's a very popular character, as you can tell from his 29 versions. His original version in 83 was a completely unique sculpt. A lot of times they'd use pieces and parts of other figures, but his was completely unique, and it has been unique since. None of those parts have been used since that first one. So that very first Destro is a very one-of-a-kind figure, and interestingly enough, he stands almost 4 inches tall, where all the other Joes were 3 3/4 inch. So the old Destro was like taller than everybody else. Kind of interesting in that. So there is your history on Destro. I thought I saw somebody in the chat say they had Destros. Mark Ross had Destro.
Cool.
One of his favorites.
Hey, Jared.
Yeah.
I have a legitimate question this time. Did they ever explain why Destro has the silver mask?
I think there's a family tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah. The leader of the clan Destro wears the mask, as I understand.
Where's the mask? Yeah.
That's as far as I know.
Okay, like
because he takes it on and off. He can take it on and off.
I didn't know that his name was Layered. They kept mentioning it. I was like, I just thought his name was Destro. I thought he was like Madonna or Cher or something.
Yeah. Isn't Laird like
his title?
Yeah, instead of Lord.
Yeah, he's Laird. He's Scottish. He's Laird Mccollum Destro.
It's gonna get a little bit nasty in the Castro Destro.
But going around the room, did you have the figure? Well, Jason, we all know I had it. You didn't.
I had Stalker.
Delvin, I know you didn't collect a lot of Joe, so I'm getting no Destro for you. Pat, Destro in your collection back in the day?
Yes, of course. This was the one to have back then. Having Destro was cool. I probably still got him. I wish I got to go through my toy boxes somewhere and dig the Destro. I got my Mindbender.
Mm-hmm.
It's me, Mindbender. I like me some Destro.
Every time.
Polly. Or anyway, as you can see, I like playing with my toys. But yeah, I thought he was cool. I never got the later one when he's in his Iron Grenader kind of a
the gold mask.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask. I thought you had one with a gold mask.
I still have that. The gold mask one that I have up in my cabinet right now is the one I had when I was a kid. Like that's the one figure that kind of one of the few that lasted all through my life. I didn't have to reacquire him via yard sale or anything like that.
Very cool.
But yeah, Destro. He's a must-have Joe figure. In your library, really. Well. That's all I have to say about that. Back to you, Pat. Smooth transition.
In the chat, did we see anybody else that had it? No.
Just the one shout out I gave to Mark Ross said that he had it. Daniel Rodriguez said he never did. Still doesn't, but will soon. So I guess Daniel's on the hunt.
Okay. And thank you for joining us, Daniel. I seen an earlier comment that said it's so fun to put the faces with the voices. You guys are funny. Love the show. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I am a crack up, and I carry the other three
all the time. Super heavy too.
All right. Well, next up is our feedback segment called Combat Comms. As always, we'll start off Combat Comms with a roster of our battle-hardened Crusader Club veterans. These are the fine folks that have joined our Crusaders Club. They enjoy early access to special Longbox video episodes, free raffle giveaways, voting on show programming, and so much more. So, these are the folks reaping the benefits and giving some much appreciated support to the show.
I'll kick it off. Angelica Wolf. In the chat.
Auburn Elvis.
In the chat.
Bill Beer.
I'm sorry. That was my turn.
No, it's not. It's not. It's mine. Bill Beer. Not in the chat.
Blast it or stash it. Where are you?
Braxton Underwood. Not in the chat.
Captain Entropy.
I would assume, Pat, that he's blasting it.
I
don't know. One or two short. Anyway, Clinton Robeson.
Dave Collins. I think he's off driving around in the battle wagon.
Gary Viola, who's usually in the chat, but I'm assuming because he's a big Joe guy, I'm assuming he's probably got Super Bowl things to do.
Gerald Green.
Jason King, who usually shows up in the chat because he's Jason Burke.
It's my time, boys. Here we go. Jim Jummer, and I hope you like Jim Jarman too.
This is not your time because yours was Jeremy L, but I'll say it. Jeremy L.
He was so excited.
He locked in on it. And he was like, today's my day.
I turned green like Destro, and he was like, I'm going to get that Jim Jarman.
Jeremy L.
Jeremy L. Jeremy L. Joe Thomas.
John Watson.
Jose Pollo.
Josh Strickland.
Candace Ward.
Kathy Bright.
Maxwell Traber.
Michael Wagner, another big Joe fan who sadly was missing today.
Miranda W.
She made me soup.
That makes good soup. So right here.
It's tasty. PG Devin. Sorry, I was next.
Look at that soup.
I'm waiting in line. I'm just sitting here waiting in line now. I'm waiting for my
I'm
turn.
sorry, I had soup on the brain.
Paul Hicks.
Rick from Jeff and Rick Present.
Rob Morgan.
Ross Michaud.
Ryan, we love him daily.
Samantha Maney.
Sean Urbanski.
It's like that time it wasn't me. Spidey 67.
Steve Cronin.
Tim Price.
And Toronto Cop.
Oh, it's my turn. Here we go. If we missed anybody on our list, we apologize. Please keep in mind that we record these episodes well in advance of release. So if you are a recent addition, we should be adding you soon. But still, no worries. Just let us know that we missed you by sending an email to contact@longboxcrusade.com and we will get it straightened out. Or if you just want to chat with me, send it to contact@longboxcrusade.com. It'll be fun. So you might be asking yourself, how do I become a Crusaders Club member?
Hey, Pat. Hey, Pat.
Yeah, Delvin.
How do I become a Crusaders Club member? It's been a while since I've done that, so I figured I'd ask.
Yeah, no, well, you know what, Delvin? I am glad you asked.
You have to collect flag points.
Mm-hmm. No, you don't, Jason. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to collect the flag points. You know what you need to do? Well, not you, Jason, but everybody else in the chat can do this. Everybody else in the chat can do this. And what we really want is the Patreon to really blow up and get big and have a lot of people in there. So there's not enough room for Jason to get into it. So please help us out. And you can do that by going to patreon.com and search for Longbox Crusade. For as little as $1 a month, you will get all the access.
Hey,
How much access is that? Somebody asked that.
How much access is that?
How much access is that, Pat?
It's all the access, just not for you, Jason. But
Well,
for
let me
everybody
ask
else,
you this though, Pat.
Okay.
Have you ever seen me and Jason Keene in the same place at the same time?
I have not.
Interesting.
That is intriguing now. We may have to, Laurel.
We got a barrel roll situation.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You see what I did there? I linked the comic book.
Anyway, you want to get in on all this fun, come and check it out and become a Crusaders Club member. Now, let's see what messages we have waiting for our platoon of loyal listeners in a segment called Breakers Comsat. I said it right. Yep, I got it, but I'm not reading right. These are from episode 26, where we featured issue number 27.
No,
Wait.
Let me fix it. There you go.
That makes sense. These are from episode 27, where we featured issue 27 in a live recording. Hey, just like we're doing now. How fun is that?
It's real fun until you get up to the comments portion of things. We didn't get any comments. We got plenty of likes and shares and retweets, and we appreciate those. But we need you to step up your comments game, peoples.
Well, maybe if they left us a voicemail, maybe we gave them more opportunities.
Pat, do you know anything about that?
How someone would call us on a voicemail line?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you asked. you can actually call us and leave a message on our voicemail line. And you can do that by dialing 707-532-5269. Again, that's 707-532-5269. One more time, 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the phone.
Oh, that sweet harmony. Love it.
Joel asked, could she call collect? You try. I don't
know. No, she lives over in Germany. Absolutely not. That is not coming out.
It's a voicemail. It's a voicemail only, so I doubt it. But
all right. Well, with that,
that's my part.
It's your part, Jared. Finally.
Yes. Here we go. Well, folks, that's going to bring us to mission complete status for this episode of G.I. Joe Chronicles, The Devil's Due Years. If you'd like to hear more from us in the realm of comic books, action films, vintage TV, movies, serials, and more, check out the entire Longbox Crusade network. DJ Christados, where can they find that?
Well, Jared, I'm glad you asked. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and so much more podcasts out there. You just search it. Wherever you can listen to a podcast, you're going to find us. We're also on the internet at www.longboxcrusade.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all at longboxcrusade.com. And if you notice, we're going to start to release more videos of the podcast in the kind of video format as well, too. So if you're a YouTuber, you'll be able to subscribe to that and follow along with us there. Back to you, Jared.
That's right. Our podcasts are going to be available on YouTube. So, you can have it up in the other tab of your browser, just listening while you working at work.
Sitting at home.
Yep. Pick up the
phone.
Anyways, if you'd like to chat with us online, we can be found at, back to you, Pat.
Thanks, Jared. I'm glad you asked. You can find me on the Twitter at Christatos01. Jared, where can they find you?
I'm at Yard Sale Artist, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. It's all at Yard Sale Artist. You can check out my artwares, which does include quite a few G.I. Joe drawings, at www.theyardsaleartist.com. Jason.
You can find me at Weasel Skull on Twitter or at Jason Albrick on Facebook and Instagram. Delvin, take us home.
You can find me on Twitter at DEE_RAY1977. And Jared, yeah, this is different from the Warriors podcast. Kathy actually had to remind me because I was like sitting like this. I was like this.
You're on the wrong side. I was on the wrong side too. That's why I have to whisper everything to Alexander. What do you think, Alexander?
But that's where you can find me on Twitter.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of G.I. Joe Chronicles, The Devil's Due Years. We'll see you on the battlefield next episode when we cover issue number 30, Players and Pawns, 3 of 5. And now I want to retitle it Players, Pawns, and Pimp Destro. That would be the greatest title right there.
Let me ask you this, Jared. Speaking of Destro, when you draw him on the stuff that you draw, and you do a very nice job of capturing the Joes on there.
Thank you.
Have you done one of Goldface Destro?
No, I only did Silverface Destro.
Oh, okay. What about Pimp Destro?
He's high on my list of things to do.
That would be cool to have. Silver, gold, and Pimp.
So, SGP, I got it. Thanks for those suggestions, Pat. And again, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. Until then, platoon, fall out.
Yo.
We did it.
Woo. Hey. We did it, chat. You did it.
Thank you, chat. Definitely want to thank everybody who came into the chat today.
Part of the show today.
Auburn, Elvis, Chola, Courtney,
Kathy.
I'm scrolling and looking at all these names.
Mark, Ross,
Mark, Daniel, Delvin.
I was pulling double duty. You thought that I was just playing Homescapes this whole time.
Man, you like to keep us guessing. All right, folks. Yeah.
Spicy
Thanks
life.
again. Thanks again for being here. If you're into our G.I. Joe stuff, folks who are watching live, or let me try that again. If you're into our James Bond stuff, folks who are watching live, we're going to be heading to Peterson Automotive Museum at the end of the month to check out the Bond in Motion exhibit down there. So if that's James Bond stuff is appealing to you, check out our other podcast, which is over on the podcast channel On Her Majesty's Secret Podcast. And with that plug, goodbye, everyone.
Woo! Thanks for joining us.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye, Alexander.